Okay, so good morning to all of you. Today's session, we are going to cover a very interesting topic: how to acquire wealth using the knowledge of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. That is, how to use traditional yogic knowledge and acquire wealth in today's world. So, we all first need to understand that what is yoga all about. Yoga, as defined by Maharishi Patanjali, he says yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta is the broader concept of the mind. Vrittis are thoughts. Nirodha means putting a stop to thoughts. So when our chitta is without thoughts, that is the time when the concentration is the highest. That is the time when the yogic power is the highest. That is the time when samadhi, or the highest state of concentration, is taking place. So samadhi is not some superconscious mental state. Samadhi, as per yoga, is a state of intense concentration of the mind. Meditation is a step where you are keeping the mind at one place. And concentration is the step where you are bringing it from the outer world to the inner world and forcing it to stay at one place. So, bringing the mind and forcing it to stay at one place, imprisoning the mind at one place, holding it with willpower at one place is dharana, is commonly called the start of concentration. As this process develops, then you are able to hold it long term. It becomes a continuous flow of the mind. That is meditation. And when that continuous flow of the mind leads to a very high state of concentration again, where the mind is completely under control, under so much of control that the conscious mind is no longer existing. You are in a thoughtless state now. All you have are subconscious recordings, subconscious imprints. They are called sanskaras, they are called karmas, which are hidden deep down in your subconscious mind. They are not active. They are not working right now. They are not in the conscious state. They are not in the conscious mind. So the conscious mind has gone. So this is how the mind operates. This is what happens when you practice yoga. Yoga means chitta vritti nirodha, to stop all thoughts. Now, how is that process? How does that process take place? What actually happens in the mind? So let us first look at the mind of a baby as defined by yoga. And let us look at what the mind does all throughout life. And let us look at what anomalies, what distractions come in the mind as it goes through life. So this is the collection of thoughts which we have in the mind. Number one, what we have at birth. Number two, what we have collected from the world outside. Number three, certain anomalies, certain distractions, certain malfunctions which the mind has picked up in life. These three together constitute all the thoughts which we have. Now, these thoughts, they have to be one by one brought under control. As you bring these thoughts one by one under control, you will find you are growing in power. You will find you are growing in intelligence. You will find you are growing in creativity. You will find you are entering the deeper and deeper levels of the mind. So let us just take a look at these three different aspects of the mind at birth, mind what it picks up in life, and the anomalies. And then we move further. So once when a baby is born, at the very initial stages, the baby does not have complete knowledge. It is ignorant about many things. Second, the baby has an ego. Right from birth, each one of us has ego. Number three, the baby by its own inherent nature has certain strong likings and dislikings. So these likings and dislikings are also part of the thoughts which a baby is born with. And all of us, all living beings, irrespective of which yoni we have come from, which species we belong to, we have a fear of death. So a fear of death is also there in the baby right at birth. It is not something which a baby picks up by looking at other people around, by looking at deaths around. No. Each individual living being is trying to exist under all circumstances, is trying to cling to life. It is trying to avoid all sorts of existential problems. It has a fear, and that fear is guiding its actions at times. So we see there are essentially 5 kinds of thoughts which are there in a baby at birth. Yoga system has used the term kleshas for this. Klesha means something which creates a conflict, something which creates a disturbance, something which creates an affliction. So all of us are born with these 5 thoughts which create conflict in our mind, which create disturbances in our mind. And all thoughts come out of these 5 to begin with. Now, what are the kind of thoughts we create based on the world? So again, yoga philosophy says there are essentially 5 kind of thoughts which we pick up in this world. One is knowledge. We can pick up 2 kinds of knowledge. Knowledge which is right and knowledge which is not right, which is false knowledge, which is misleading knowledge. So knowledge per se is picked up. And where does this knowledge come from? This knowledge will always come in from the sense organs to begin with. At that stage of a baby, at that stage of a growing child, at the stage of a normal adult, knowledge will always come in through the jnana indriyas, through the organs of perception, through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin. That is how we collect data from the world outside. Now, once this data has come in, this is original, authentic data, original, authentic knowledge, because we ourselves have observed it. It is not somebody else's observation. So this is of prime importance. Now, out of this knowledge, we might use some kind of a logic, some kind of an inference, some kind of a deduction method to come to another set of knowledge. So that is the second way by which knowledge is internally generated within us, through application of logic, through application of inference, through some form of deduction. The third knowledge, which we take in as right knowledge, is based on testimonials. If I have faith and trust on my teacher, mathematics teacher, and my mathematics teacher is telling me a few teachings, so I take it as true. Though I might not have experienced it, I might have no logic about it, but just because a teacher has told me, whom I believe and trust and have faith, I'm taking it at face value and accepting it as right knowledge. So this is one way in which we are filling our brain with thoughts of the world in the form of knowledge. And as I said, knowledge can be right, knowledge can be wrong. So there are 2 kinds of knowledge. Third is whatever we are getting from the world outside, it is getting stored inside us. We have a memory system. So our memory system by itself produces thoughts, by itself recollects certain memories, recalls certain memories. So I was sitting in a blank mind and suddenly I remember what happened 5 years back. I get 10, 15, 20 thoughts on that. So the stored memory in us is a generator of thoughts. So memory. And the next is imagination. We are constantly projecting our mind into the future and imagining. So all imagination, which is not there truly present, which we are creating out of our mind, which we are creating out of memories in our mind and projecting into the future, is called imagination. So imagination also is a source of thoughts, an internal source of thoughts in us. And after imagination, it is sleep. Our sleep changes our process of creating thoughts and holding on to thoughts. When you are awake, you are operating in a different way with thoughts. When you are dreaming, the thoughts are coming from the subconscious mind and playing in your mind. When you are in deep sleep, then you have no idea about the content of that deep sleep. You don't remember anything. So the mind goes through changes and fluctuations because of the state of sleep you are in. And this also can be said to be a source of generating thoughts or stopping production of certain thoughts. The content of deep sleep is lost. You don't recollect what happened in deep sleep, though something must have happened. But there is no memory. You only feel good about your sleep or bad about your sleep, or you didn't have a restful sleep, but there is no content, no memory about content of that deep sleep. So these are the 5 new creations of thoughts which we create ourselves because of the world we are in. It is not from birth. It is because of our existing in this world, because of conditions outside, because of internal mental processes. We are creating thoughts. So these thoughts have been defined as vrittis by Patanjali. So he says through life, we develop these 5 kinds of thoughts. So we saw when we are born with 5 kinds of kleshas. Then once when we are living in life, we have 5 kinds of thoughts which we are collecting, which is filling our brain, which are filling our neurons with all information, all data. And then as the third one is when we go through life, when we go through different, I would say, experiences, we pick up certain things in the mind which are anomalies, which are sort of unwanted happenings, which are distractions to the proper working of the mind. What can these be? They can be something like illness. Illness starts in the mind. Self-doubt, lack of confidence, depression, laziness, dullness. So these are certain attributes of the mind which may not be there initially, but which have happened as you have gone through life, as you have picked up experiences. So our mind is filled up of these 3 components: kleshas, vrittis, and distractions, which are called antarayas. They come and they disturb the proper smooth functioning of the mind. They don't make the mind do what the mind is supposed to do. They create internal disturbances. They reduce the efficiency of the mind. So we have to work on all these 3 components. All of them have to be reduced. All of them have to be controlled. All of them have to be brought to a stop, to a standstill, to a state of zeroness, to a state of nirodha. Nirodha means nothing. There is no action now. It has come down to zero. It is stopped. It is totally controlled. Thoughts are totally restrained. So once when you start controlling your thoughts, what are you actually doing? You are concentrating your thought in a way. Because they say our human mind normally has 50 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. Now, if you are working on thought reduction in a conscious way, using certain practices, using certain time-tested methods, which practices and methods have been tested by our yogis for thousands of years. Yoga might be 10,000, 12,000 years old. Recorded history is about 5,000, 7,000 years old. The mantra Om chanting is about 5,000 years old. So there is tremendous amount of testing which has happened on these practices. And people have found the correct results. Therefore, there is faith, there is trust, there is conviction on these methods. So I'll be sharing those methods with you. You might be knowing some of the methods already, but I'm trying to put them before you in a particular format, in a particular perspective. So there are three ways by which the thoughts in the mind can be reduced. The thoughts in the mind can be controlled. The thoughts in the mind can be put to a stop. And that is what we are interested in. You must remember, as the thoughts in the mind go down drastically, you increase drastically in intelligence, you increase drastically in power, you increase drastically in the power of concentration, the application of the mind, you increase drastically your ability of creativity, you increase drastically your happiness, your bliss, your state of ananda. So all these magical things start happening when you are controlling the number of thoughts. And when you can make your thought go down to probably 80, 100 thoughts, then you are a focused person in your life. When you go down to something as low as 5 to 20 thoughts, then you have a genius mind. You are something like Albert Einstein. You know, the story about Albert Einstein is Albert Einstein wanted to get the Nobel Prize. So he was married. He had a kid that time. So he approached his wife, who also was a scientist, and tells her, you see, let me work alone. You do not stay with me. And kindly keep the child also with you for some time. Once when I win the Nobel Prize, I will share 50% of that prize money with you. So both of them agreed. And the wife allowed Albert Einstein to work alone. She took away the daughter also. And then the story goes, Albert Einstein once worked for 2.5 days non-stop, sitting on a chair, doing his mathematical calculations and work and a study of that subject he was interested in. So that is the amount of concentration we are talking about. You have to cut down your thoughts from 50, 60,000 a day to as low, as minimum as you can. That is where the true, real power is. Now, another thing which happens is, there are 3 ways of controlling thoughts as per yoga. The first method is called practice of concentration. Start the practice of concentration. Start practicing it. Do it as intensely as you can. Do it for as long a duration as you can. Do it with complete devotion as far as you can. So once when you begin the practice of concentration, you learn concentration, you learn the methods, the tools, the tricks, the techniques, you have a master who is guiding you, then you go with an intensity into that direction, then you go with devotion, then you go with a sense of commitment, and then you will find your number of thoughts shrinking very rapidly. You will find your number of thoughts going down from 50, 60, 70,000 a day to probably 100, 200 a day in a short span of time. And that is where, when you will feel your health has improved, Your skin has started glowing because the energy which you are creating through your consciousness is not getting divided over 50, 60, 70,000 thoughts. That energy of your pure consciousness, of your Atma, of your Purusha, is getting focused and divided in a focused manner on 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 thoughts. So the quality of your work shoots up. The quality of your energy shoots up. The quality of your intelligence, quality of your creativity, quality of your happiness, quality of your connectivity with this whole creation shoots up. And there is another very interesting aspect I would like to point out now before I actually go into further details on those three methods and take questions also from you. What happens is, we are normally operating in the conscious mind. Our conscious mind is connected to the world of objects outside through the 5 sense organs: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And that is the way we are working. We are looking at objects, we are looking at people, we are looking at circumstances, we are looking at things, and we are acting or responding to what is happening outside. That is the normal human activity. But such kind of people are ordinary people in life. They have ordinary achievements in life. If you have to be extraordinary, then you must realize the power does not lie in the world of objects outside. They are inert. They are without any consciousness. The true power is lying inside you, in your mind. So this conscious mind also is one part of the mind which is interacting, which is an interface with the physical world outside and the higher mind inside. So what is the second higher mind inside, better than the conscious mind? That is the subconscious mind which you have. Your subconscious mind is not operating in the moment. Your conscious mind is operating in the moment, in the present. It is seeing what the eye is seeing. It is hearing what the ear is hearing. It is smelling what the nose is smelling. It is tasting what the tongue is tasting. It is feeling the temperature of what it is touching the skin now. Whereas the subconscious mind is a seat of memory, and it has a deeper knowledge of how to run the heart, how to operate the kidney, how to operate the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the skin. Everything is actually operating in a auto mode. That is the subconscious mind. And you cannot change most of its operation. It is running automatically, unhindered by your decision. You may decide, I want to increase my heart rate. You will not be able to do it. I want to stop my heart rate. You will not be able to do it. I want to quicken my digestion. You will not be able to do it, because everything is under a control. Control of what? Who decides for the subconscious mind what to do, how to do? Where has this program come from? How old is this program? So the subconscious mind is also connected to a further higher mind, a mind which is further deeper inside. And that mind is called the universal mind. That mind is called the cosmic mind. In yogic terminology, it is called the cosmic mind. For those people who have done the master key system, it is called the universal mind. So it is a higher mind which is operating at the universal level, at the far bigger level. So if you look at it in yogic terms, once the Purusha and the Prakriti are coming together, they are creating the Mahat. Mahat is that cosmic intelligence which is creating the cosmos. And that cosmic intelligence is giving you as an individual your subconscious mind. And that Mahat as a cosmic mind, as a universal mind, is giving you an individual your conscious mind. So your individual conscious mind and individual subconscious mind are there so that you run your day-to-day life. But if you want to become extraordinary, if you do not want to be an ordinary individual, interacting with the world, if you want to surpass limits, if you want to break barriers, if you want to create world records, if you want to boldly go where no man has gone before, then you must develop the ability to access the subconscious mind first, and then the universal mind or the cosmic mind inside you. Can it be done? Yes, it can be done. How is it done? It is done by the same principles which the yogic philosophy suggests. So whether you will find that when you are at the universal mind level, there will be less thoughts. When you are at the subconscious mind level, there will be more thoughts. When you are at the conscious mind level, there will be many, many thoughts. So as we go deep inside our minds, as we go further and further inside, we find that we are reaching a higher and higher concentrated level of the mind. We are reaching a higher and higher magnitude of the mind. So we go from the conscious to the subconscious to the universal mind. And when you go from the conscious to the subconscious to the universal mind, that universal mind now has omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence, because it is the cause of the whole cosmos. It is the cause of the whole universe. So we must pick up that ability to connect to that higher power. Where is that higher power? That higher power is inside us. I have to go inside my chitta. My chitta has the Mahat, the universal intelligence, the cosmic intelligence. It has the individual intelligence. You can call it the buddhi if you want. It has the individual ego. You want to call it the ahankara if you want. It has the individual mind, which is handling the senses, the sense organs, which is called the manas. So yoga is a method, is a technology, is a process, well laid down process, tested over thousands and thousands of years with unbelievable results, which tells you how to move from the world outside to your conscious mind, to your subconscious mind, to your universal mind, and to the final stage within you. So once when you start doing all this, you will realize that all power is there within you. You have to uncover it. You have to open the package inside you. Now, how do you open that package? How do you have access to that immense power inside you, immense knowledge inside you, immense commitment to deliver inside you? You do it through the practice of what the yogic philosophy is suggesting, whatever yogis have used. So it is a sure shot method. It will give you results and we need to follow it. Now, how do you know that you are actually accessing deeper and deeper levels of mind? What is the measurement technique? The measurement technique is very simple. When you are going inside, you will find certain symptoms. I will tell you in a short while. And those symptoms will tell you where exactly you are and what are the next milestones you need to reach. So now let us look at what are these three methods which I have been talking about again and again, but I have not told you in very clear terms so far. So let me do it for you. But before that, let us just recollect what is yoga. Yoga is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga means keep on reducing the thoughts in your mind. Make them zero. When you make your thoughts zero, that means your conscious mind has zero thoughts. Then you have a subconscious mind. Then the subconscious mind thoughts have to be also reduced. There is a process for that. But that would be an advanced practice. So we will just look at the conscious mind, how to empty it of thoughts, and what happens before it happens. So even if you're able to reach a low number of thoughts, say probably 10, 15, 20, 80, 100 thoughts, you will find an astronomical change in your life. You will find an astronomical change in your powers. You will find an astronomical change in your way of living. You will find an astronomical change in the way the world is approaching you. The world will become slow. The world will become peaceful. The world will be readying things for you. It is not that you have to slog to make something happen. Things will start happening for you on their own. You will be highly creative. Your ingenuity will shoot up. Your health will improve. Your knowledge will shoot up. People will simply listen to you and do whatever you are saying. At times, you need not say also. People around you will automatically do what you're thinking. So those kind of things start happening when you are achieving something like 8, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 100 thoughts in a day. But normal people, ordinary people, people who have to struggle in their existence, they have about 50 to 60,000, 70,000 thoughts. Don't tell me how it was found out. I don't know. But this is the figure which many people talk about. You will find many self-help improvement books talk about this figure. And the way I look at it is, we have a brain. My brain has 100 billion neurons. Each neuron means a nerve cell. And each nerve cell can have various multiple connections to other nerve cells around us. I have a memory capacity which is millions of terabytes. Now, this huge capacity of the brain, if it is loaded with thoughts, if it is loaded with so-called knowledge, if it is loaded with memory, if it is loaded with imagination, then it is like a overloaded hard drive. It is like a computer whose data is full. So then when you want to drive it for some particular purpose, you will find the computer working very slowly. Similarly with our mind. When you have cleaned up the thoughts, when you have reduced your thoughts, when you come down to 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, 100 thoughts in a day, your whole machine, gigantic machine of universal power of 100 billion neurons gets going in no time because the cells are empty. They are waiting to do something for you. So that is how the yogis were able to acquire their yogic power. That is how the yogis were able to do phenomenal, unbelievable things. So here is the secret, which Patanjali says in the very second sutra. Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha. It is simple English. It means cut down your thoughts to zero. That's it. Cut down your thoughts to zero. And then you are the yogi of the highest order. So let us look now, how can we cut down our thoughts? What are the methods? How are these methods working? Are they really simple, or we are talking of some gigantic effort like climbing Mount Everest? Let me tell you, they are very simple. Anybody can do it. Even children have done it in the past. Very, very simple. Number one is, you must have vairagya. Vairagya means detachment. Detachment in particular, it means you must not have a desire for worldly things. Because if you have a desire for worldly things, then that desire is recorded in your memory. And then you start filling up your memory with desire for everything. You want a Mercedes, you want to go abroad, you want to go on a holiday, and this and that and that and that and that. Then you are stuck like chewing gum to the world. You become stuck like chewing gum to the world. And when you are stuck like chewing gum to the world, all your neurons inside your brain are stuck up to each other like chewing gum. They don't work. They stop working. They get overloaded. They are not free to execute something new. They are stuck with the objects of the world through your sense organs, through your mind, through your recording of what is happening in the mind. This mind is the conscious mind. So number one is stay away from attachments. If you have to attach yourself to very limited, focused things in your life. Do not be attached to the world. Do not say, I want to create, worldwide this, worldwide that. Forget it. You have your own world. You have come here with an Atma, and that Atma is operating through the Chitta, and that Chitta is seeing a particular part of the world only. That is why you are a separate Purusha. That is why you are a separate Atma. That is why all of us are separate Purushas, separate Atmas, looking at the same Prakriti. We don't have different Prakritis for different individuals. We have the same Prakriti for all the individuals, all the Purushas. So be focused on what will make your world better, your personal world better. This will remove a lot of unnecessary thoughts. Very, very important. It will give priority and focus to your life. And the second thing is, start the practice of concentration. When you start the practice of concentration, say you are holding 60,000 thoughts in your mind, and you start and do the process of concentration. You are concentrating on two thoughts, one thought. So your energy to the balance 60,000 minus one thought will reduce. The body, the system, the pranic energy will only feed one thought, will only feed that one particular neuron or the bunch of neurons which are holding that thought. All other neurons will find their nutrition levels dropping. All other thoughts will find their substance is going down. They're not getting the right amount of oxygen, right amount of food, right amount of energy. Slowly, steadily, they will die. So all the past recordings, all the junk which you have collected over 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of existence at the rate of 60, 70,000 thoughts a day, all that junk will die. All that junk will go away. And only the thought you are focusing on will be alive. So say in a day you are focusing on 10, 20, 30 thoughts only. After a certain span of time, you will find only this 10, 20, 30 thoughts alive, working in you and growing. They will be very, very powerful because you have been giving them constant energy over a long period. And all those thousands and lakhs and millions of unwanted thoughts which you have collected over the years, they will die. You are a living body. You have living cells. Cells grow, cells die. So we have to kill those thoughts which are stored in those cells which are of no use to us. That is how concentration comes. That is how the power comes. And then those very cells, tomorrow, if needed, they will do the processing for you at a phenomenal rate and give you new ideas. Tell you what is happening beyond this world. How does that happen? When you are actually traveling deep inside your mind, from the world into the conscious mind, into the subconscious mind, into the universal mind. Universal mind is omnipotent. Your conscious mind is not omnipotent. So that means somewhere along the line, power is increasing. So the deeper you go, the more power you have. Similarly, omniscient is the universal mind. So the deeper you go, you suddenly acquire a lot of knowledge. That knowledge is not coming from Google. That knowledge is not coming from a bunch of books of libraries which you have. They are coming from your mind, from your brain cells, because the mind is having that information. The mind, the conscious mind has developed out of the universal mind. The subconscious mind has developed out of the universal mind. So it carries the seeds of the universal mind. And once when you start concentrating, when you start going deep, you access the seeds of the universal mind. And then the knowledge of the universal mind gets stored in your existing subconscious mind. Then the knowledge of the universal mind can be accessed by your existing conscious mind. So that is why it is important that we understand this process and we practice this process. And the third method is the process of devotion. If you believe in Ishvara, if you submit yourself, surrender yourself completely, then what happens? Then your individual mind, your ego, is surrendered to the universal mind. Now there is no individual mind. Now there is only the universal mind working. And this universal mind is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. So the power, the knowledge which is driving you now, which is accessible to you now, is of the universal proportion, universal proportions. And it is simply called bhakti. Bhakti is the easiest way to access the powers of the universal mind. There's nothing religious about it. It is completely scientific. If somebody says this is religious, he's the biggest fool. It is, we are as human beings designed this way. And if we are designed this way, and if we have a hack in our design, that if you follow bhakti, you reach the universal mind straight away, fastest, easiest possible manner, with complete ananda, then why not do it? It is working. Try it out. As I told you, all methods which I am talking to you have not been developed by me in my bathroom or in my room. They have been there in the Yoga Sutras from 2,400 years back. Patanjali did not create yoga. Patanjali merely documented what was practiced in this country for thousands of years. So whatever he's suggesting in his Yoga Sutras has been there in India for 5,000 to 10,000 years, maybe 12,000 years. And it is tested. People have faith, people have conviction, it has done wonders for them. So now once when you are able to use this methodology, anyone that suits you or a combination of them, then now if you have a thought in your conscious mind and you hold it in your hand, you hold it in your mind, and you calmly walk inside your mind to the universal mind, approach the universal mind in a deep state of meditation, or in a deep state of bhakti, or in a deep state of vairagya, detachment, your thought will get energized by that power, by the knowledge, by the omnipresence of that universal mind. And once when you come out of that deep experience of vairagya, or deep state of concentration, or deep state of bhakti, your thought will have that aura, that energy, that power, and it will create phenomenal magic in the world outside. So if you're looking to create wealth for yourself, if you're looking to create name, fame, and money, if you're looking to become a personality of this decade or this century, then where does the power come from? The power will not come from eating 400 grams of rice and dal. The power will not come from eating mutton, chicken, and eggs. The power will not come from so-called food supplements available in the marketplace. The power will only and only come from the universal mind, because that is the place where it is existing. And that is the place where you have come from. So you have to go back to where you have come from. You have to reach to your roots. How to reach our roots? Number one, practice detachment. Don't allow your mind to be stuck up, attached, entrapped by various objects of the world. Allow them to be as they are. Don't be close to them. Don't be away from them. Don't feel attracted to them. Don't feel repelled by them. Just be there. That is the one technique. Second technique is learn to concentrate. Practice concentration. Dig deep inside your mind. Learn how to go deep in your mind. Practice that. Once you practice that, you will be able to reach till the universal mind. It might take some time. It might take some practice. It might take some effort. It might take some commitment, but it is doable by anybody and everybody. So you may be a person with no hands, no legs, no tongue, no eyes, no ears. But if you decide that you want to become the world's richest person, your mind will give you the idea. Your mind will make it happen for you. So it is entirely up to you and your mind. It is a mental game. It is not any other game. And once when you're able to cut down your thoughts to 10, 15, 20, 100 thoughts, and you've achieved whatever you want to achieve, then the next stage would be to make these thoughts go down to zero. And when you make these thoughts go down to zero, then you reach the higher stage of Kevalya. You reach the state where you are beyond birth and death, and you reach the ultimate state of human evolution. But that is another story. Forget that for a while. You are living in the world. You might have certain dreams and desires. So use the yogic methodology to achieve them, and so that you are done away with them. And then you get back to business of now reducing your 80, 100 thoughts to probably 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 2, 1 and 0, and you're gone. So that is the power of the yogic knowledge of this country. Yoga is not asana. Yoga is not pranayam. Yoga is not pure meditation also. It is beyond that. It is traveling in time. When you're traveling in mind, you're actually traveling in time. How is that possible? Because the universal mind did not come yesterday. The universal mind has been here for probably millions of years. But you, when you're traveling in your mind to the universal mind, in probably 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, you are compressing time. And when you reach the state of 80 to 100 thoughts in a day, the time starts coming under your control. And once when you're able to reduce all thoughts to zero, you will find time has stopped. Only when thoughts were changing was time existing. Now when there are no thoughts, there is no time. There is no birth, there is no rebirth. Everything is permanent, everything is eternal, everything is unchanging. Even the mool prakriti comes in equilibrium. Rajas, Sattva and Tamas come into equilibrium. Everything comes to a stop because Kala has stopped, time has stopped. You have transcended time also. You have transcended Prakriti, you have transcended time. That is the second part of the journey. But the first part of the journey, if you are having a married life, if you have commitments towards your family members, if you want to achieve phenomenal things, if you want to create records in this world, if you want to leave footprints for others to follow you, go beyond the ordinary and the extraordinary, then that is the technique, that is the trick which I have shared with you. I hope you were able to follow it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
Just thinking, how do you kill thoughts? I just thinking, how do you?
Did I ask you to kill thoughts?
You said, no, because you have so many thoughts, you should kill the thoughts and limit them to
reduce the number of thoughts. So when you have to see where the thoughts are coming from. The thoughts are coming from birth. Thoughts are coming from the outer world. And thoughts are coming from malfunctioning of the mind. So number one, you must keep an eye on what is coming from the outer world. And you must see that you don't take in anything which comes in. You only take in what you are interested in 100%. So you must be interested not in 10,000 things, you must be interested in 5 things. And then you will find only 5 things coming to you. So that is one way. Second way is once the mind is malfunctioning, once the mind is getting distracted, then there are 7-8 techniques by which the mind can be brought back again into normal mode. One of the powerful methods is Om. Either chant Om or listen to Om. This will immediately rectify your mental imbalance and give you the right kind of mental state, so that what all processing is happening in the right way. So the distractions will go away. It will remove your self-doubt, it will remove depression, it will remove illnesses. Yesterday, I was taking a class of people on Master Key System. There, one of the students said that after doing Om chanting for 5 to 10 minutes before going to sleep, I'm able to sleep. He said, before this, I was not able to sleep at night. But now, within 5-10 minutes, I fall asleep. So this was something new to me. I have never heard this before, but it works. I have my own experiences based on what I have done. So it works tremendously. And it is all documented. It is all there, point by point, what all things go away. So we are sitting on a very powerful technology which has been tested for 10,000, 12,000 years. This vaccine has hardly been tested. We don't know whether all of us might get wiped off one day just because of the vaccine, We're not sure. Nobody's sure. They're all interested in making a quick buck out of that vaccine. So Om has been there for 5,000, 10,000 years, and we are not willing to believe that. We are willing to believe on some fancy work by some fancy scientists sitting in some MNCs in some foreign countries. So, fine. That also is okay, because you see, if you resist, it becomes powerful. If you accept wholeheartedly, it becomes powerful. If you ignore, if you are a witness, it loses its power. So it is all in the mind. It is all work of the Chitta. Chitta is a very, very important player here. Our entire life is actually life of the Chitta. The Atma does not die, and the body remains here. The 5 elements will remain here. Whatever my body is composed of will remain here. Matter cannot be created, not destroyed. It is only the Chitta which is undergoing a transformation. And it is the Chitta which is coming for a rebirth. Are you getting me? So we need to understand we have to work on the Chitta. And that is why Patanjali has clearly said, first sutra says, now I begin the teachings on yoga. Second, he says, yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. Stop the thoughts in the chitta. Everything will happen automatically. I am suggesting a few methods. If you have your own methods, do it. Stop thoughts. That is the end goal, If I know that I'm playing a football match, I'm a player, I have to score a goal in the opposite camp's goal post. I have to put the ball inside. Now, I may do it by the techniques taught to me by my coach, or I might try something new absolutely on my own. The end result has to be achieved. Similarly here, the thoughts have to come to a stop. You see, the Western world, people are surprised. How by reducing the thoughts, emptying the mind, you are getting all this. You can get all this only when you collect. Yeah, so they are working on the reverse direction. And fine, that is their culture. So they have their issues. But this is something which has been there for thousands of years. And all of us are educated people. If I am thoughtless, I am at peace. If I have 100 thoughts, I am not at peace. And knowledge is not in books. Knowledge has to come from insight. Knowledge has to come from intuition. Knowledge has to come from pragya. Are you getting me? Yeah, any other question?
Yeah, we discussed that the easiest way is to do bhakti.
Yes.
Bring the individual mind to the universal mind.
Yes.
So what do you mean by exactly bhakti? How to do bhakti? What is the symptoms of bhakti according to you?
Bhakti simply means that you surrender yourself.
To whom?
To the higher, to the highest you can think of. So, for a scientifically minded person, I'm saying you surrender your ego, your individual mind, to the universal mind. This cosmos has a mind. It has an intelligence. This whole thing is just not running on its, running by default, there is something which is there. Look at a human body. It is so complex. It is so extremely complex. It is unbelievable that we are there. So there is something which is working. Just because I am not aware, that does not mean it does not exist. There's something which is existing. Yeah. So anything you believe in which is higher, the lower has to submit to the higher. And what may happen is, today you submit to one higher, after few months or few passage of time, you might realize there's another higher than this. So you submit to that higher. And then it goes, and then you realize there's something further higher. So you submit to that higher. So that is the way it might happen. I'm just suggesting, it might not happen also. It all depends to whom are you surrendering, to whom are you applying your devotion, to whom do you have trust on, to whom are you putting your faith on whom you have a conviction. So it is entirely a subjective practice. Concentration is not subjective. Concentration, you're following a method and you're reaching step by step. But bhakti is subjective.
How we know who is higher? How we know? You said that it depending on to whom you are surrendering. So how we know that to whom we have to surrender?
It will not come in the newspaper. It will not be given to you on a paper slip. It will be felt in the heart. Okay, if you want to surrender to your father, to your mother, that I have come from them, that also will work. It has to be to somebody higher, subjectively higher. It could be a guru. Okay, it could be a school teacher. It could be the idol in a temple. It could be a book. Let's say the Sikh community worships the Guru Granth Sahib. We have Christians worshipping the Bible. We have the Muslims worshipping the Quran. So it can be a book. Anything which is of higher value to you than yourself, so that you can subjugate yourself to that power. It is an individual's choice. There is no 2 + 2 = 4 kind of a formula here. It is absolutely dependent on the individual. Yeah, Anshuman.
Sir, good morning, and thank you very much for a profound session. In fact, one of the best session, and you were in full flow, sir, and very articulate, especially the regarding the universal mind and how you can connect, and a lot of practical input, be it thoughtlessness. So it is something, sir, to be seen again if the recording can be shared, and very, very helpful, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome. This session has been recorded. We will be sharing it.
Yes, sir. And a lot of, I think, points. I think we operate at a conscious level with thousands of thoughts. And if consciously we can reduce the thoughts by having witness mindset, as well as if we can progress in bhakti, I think that is also the shortcut or the faster way to that connects with the universal intelligence. Sir, just wanted to ask you regarding the master key system, sir. If you can just quickly throw some light on how it is and how it is helpful. Maybe it will be of some use to all of us.
Master key system is a system designed by an American about 110 years back. It is a very profound system, one of the most profound I have ever found. It beats everything. Is it easy? It is not easy, because it involves changing your mindset. You have to get used to that kind of thinking, but I think that it is one of the best things to be done. Now we are offering that course right now on a weekly basis, one session a week, and on Saturdays 9 to 11 p.m. And secondly, we are thinking of starting Master Key System sessions for, you can say, the whole book together. There are 24 chapters with 24 mental exercises. So that can be done from Monday to, say, Saturday, and for 4 weeks. But personally, out of my tremendous experience in Master Key System, doing it on a weekly basis is very, very powerful, because then you get time for your nervous system to adjust before the next class. But if you're doing it on a daily basis, spread out over a month, then the nervous system does not grow that fast. It does not accommodate those thoughts, those changes in your brain straight away. Because the body biology is slower than the speed with which the new thoughts will come to you. So in order to give sufficient time for the new thoughts to be ingrained, to grow, to take root, one session a week is advisable. And that is how the original course was conducted by Charles Haanel.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
अंशुमन जी, आप भी अपना वो प्रेजेंटेशन शेयर करिए ना आपका.
Yeah, I will share Vinay ji with you. Thank you.
Yeah, so if there are no questions, can we close?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. If anybody has felt that there was something which could not be understood because too much of information was shared, then you can feel free to ask. If you want to ask now, you're welcome. If you want to ask later, personally on a call, you are welcome there also. Okay. Fine, then thank you so much. God bless each one of you. Yeah, have a great day.